Center for Education Development is an educational forum brought up by school leaders. Entire country are being connected. 28 states, we are connected with 29 countries of the world, with the Ministry of Education of 9 countries, only to frame out the best way the teaching learning process can be shared. And I believe if at all you share your learning, you grow together. So technical experts and academicians are involved in this foundation. The main aim of the foundation is to empower all educators of the country with new methods and practices of learning.
Hi, this is your host Shubham Tiwari, and I welcome you to Changemakers, a show brought to you by Wonderslate Technologies, where we bring to you the faces that are changing the face of education, innovation, and leadership in India. Our today's guest is the founder chairman of CED Foundation, who's also the senior principal at the Doon Public School. Dr. Priyadarshi Nayak, welcome to Wonder Publish Magazine.
My pleasure to have you.
Wonderful to have you, sir. And to continue with your introduction, which is a large one, you're an educationist, consultant, mentor, trainer, motivator, among many other roles. A well-known edu leader, Dr. Nayak started his journey of training educators in 1999. Since then, he has trained more than 2,000 educators and have conducted more than 125 workshops and conferences for school leaders. And speaking about his awards, which are many, naming the two most prominent ones, Dr. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation awarded him with the Best Teacher in 2006, and he also received Best Principal Award by Smriti Iraniji in 2014. So this is a very hefty introduction, sir. So we'll begin with a very basic question to ask you to make it's easier for our audience. You have been a prominent educationist all through your life. Which role have you enjoyed the most so far?
Well, I can say teaching. When a teacher teaching in a classroom and being with the children, it's something amazing. I believe I have been into the field of training in the role of a principal, in the role of an administrator. But right. When you are with children, you can understand their emotional, you can understand the need, necessity, and if you can meet them, their expectations. I believe for teaching job, it's something wonderful for me, which I like even today. Even I get some chance to go and interact with children in the classes. That is my favorite.
Right, sir. And I, specifically mentioned about your training career, which, started in, I guess, more than 20 years ago. So why did you get into training? Because do you also see your teachers as, your, let's say, learners who should be continuously, taught about new things? Why did you get into this?
Why I have focus? Because I thought of moving out from the box, that is only seeing whether syllabus are completed or not, or examinations are conducted or not in the schools properly. I think that the children need to be groomed by very, very professional and updated teachers. So when you have updated teachers in your school, you can imbibe the best teaching learning process in the school. So right. I thought of why not? Why not teachers to be groomed up? Teachers are very good teachers are there, but they need to be upgraded. They need to be updated with new technologies, new methodologies, new practices. And as far as now the policy has come up, why not with new, technology way the process methodologies can be taught in the classroom? And that way I thought of that training teachers should be a part and parcel of my interest.
Right. So you mentioned new education policy, sir. So how satisfied are you with the new education policy?
Well, I can say after 1986 or so many years of waiting, this policy is a promising policy. This policy has given more importance to the foundation learning. You can say the children, those who enter into the field of into education at the age of 3, and that is something which is promising, where we are creating or preparing a base. And if that base is ready, I believe something good is. So a lot of areas we talk about 360-degree progress report, the entire holistic learning we are talking about. We are removing the rote learning method and putting up experiential learning, project-based learning, practical based learning. I think these will have a better impact on what the Honorable Prime Minister has suggested, that India should be a skilled India. And when you talk about skilling, these aspects, vocational topics, vocational subjects, these need to be inculcated. So this NEP, National Education Policy 2020, is very promising.
Right.
Only one thing is that we need to understand and implement it properly. Unless and until we implement it, it will be in policy in the papers only.
You're right, sir. You're right. And as I told at the beginning of this interview, that in this series we prominently feature leaders, and you have been leading through Center for Educational Development for many years now. So CED, sir, tell our audience what CED is all about.
Center for Education Development is an educational forum brought up by school leaders. Entire country are being connected. 28 states, we are connected with 29 countries of the world, with the Ministry of Education of 9 countries, only to frame out the best way the teaching learning process can be shared. And I believe if at all you share your learning, you grow together. So technical experts and academicians are involved in this foundation. The main aim of the foundation is to empower all educators of the country with the new methods and practices of learning.
Right.
I started this foundation to keep the education system inspired and directed towards the goal we set for our 21st century learners. That is the only motive behind it, within the aim to bring 100% literacy and updated skill education in our children in the entire country. This is something which all the school leaders have thought of, and they have brought up this one. We are completing 7 years in the month of January.
Yes, sir. The 7th conference is about to happen in New Delhi. So first of all, congratulations to you for making it happen during these COVID times. So how excited are you? And tell us about the 7th conference. What's the one thing that you're looking forward to the most?
You see, 7th conference is absolutely dedicated to certain issues, and that issues, as all of us know, the new policy has come up, and technology based education is prevailing in India. What are the emerging future challenges in education will be discussed. Exchanging of ideas and views toward the advancement of the technology in the field of education will be discussed. Annual conference will experience, you can say, from the dignitaries to curate and personalize their learning and community building in this. So we are inviting pan-India educators, those who have done wonderful in the field of education. We are inviting people from NCERT, from CBSE, from SCERT, from the ministry. Honorable Minister from, this is a program collaborated with the National Institute of Education and the Ministry of Education, Maldives. So every conference we used to collaborate with one ministry of other country from the outside. So we'll have a lot of learning experiences to happen.
That's wonderful, sir. And if I may ask you one this question regarding CED, the ideas and the agenda of the CED, in what way do you think those ideas trickle down to the those schools at the very bottom of our system, which were not open?
You see, the foremost, you can say, the vision or the mission or the objective is to provide a robust platform for expression of interest and cognitive thoughts and promote research among all the active participants in the school education. Basically, we thought of to promote the connection with the collaborative peers and partners. We thought of to provide an opportunity to enhance knowledge and skills required to solve educational problems and meet the challenges for the dynamic decision making in the environment. So basically, I believe we thought of to put up this particular foundation that everyone should come to a platform, everyone could share their concern, their issues, and this particular foundation can help not only in training, empowering, but providing quality education to schools, quality platform to school, let the school stand properly, starting from the NOC level to the affiliation level.
Right.
Let us help in every aspect, maybe accreditation, how to maintain quality, because we are working on the Sustainable Development Goals, chapter number 4, quality education. That is the major area which every school should focus, and they will be successful in the future.
Correct, sir. Correct. And since you interact with so many, these edu leaders and schools, what are the, the common themes in terms of the struggle that these schools faced in, taking that next step? And in what ways you help them?
You see, every school has a lot of challenges, and during this pandemic time,
Oh, no, yes.
you cannot understand, the entire world was quarantined, but believe me, the teaching learning was not quarantined. The teaching learning was happening from the school, and Center for Education Development Foundation has conducted 275 live webinars in these 17 months, only to get connected with the educators, and educators can transform education through hybrid learning or through blended learning or through online classes, whatever you might have seen. Even if teachers, they have never thought of that, will be a transformed educator.
Yeah,
now,
so abruptly.
Center for Education Development Foundation has made the teachers that you need to transform yourself. And I am proud that we have connected almost 8,000 to 9,000 school educators during these periods, and we have tried to convert them how to use technology-based education, because now technology after 2030, around 2030, you will find technology will play a very important role. Artificial intelligence, machine learning are to play a very important role.
Correct.
So this foundation has been a great inspirer, a motivator to all the educators in India, as we have been connected in various topics through our webinars.
That's wonderful, sir. And speaking of, recognition of excellence, you have a system in place to rate schools as well. There is a rating which will come out at the 7th conference. So how do you, what are the parameters, and, the school can strive to, make themselves better?
You see, as I said, quality education is important. Correct. And we want that every school should have certain parameters, certain indicators. As per school quality accreditation and assessment, education, I believe, need to be taken care of very seriously by the school edu leaders, school owners, school managers, whoever it may be. Education, I believe, is the most powerful weapon which can use to change the world. And while education level vary from country to country, there is a clear correlation between quality of a country's education system and its general economic status and overall well-being.
Correct.
So in our rating scale, in our star rated, we actually generally recognize school as a star rated school or a change maker in schools. So in a rating, in our rating scale, generally this descriptive word is says that it allows schools to indicate the degree or frequency of the behaviors, skills, and strategies implemented for the learners or implemented by the school to improve the standard of education.
Okay.
So rating scale also enlighten the students for setting up goals and improving performance in the future when they move out from the schools. So something we have around 9 parameters. On the basis of those 9 parameters, we grade schools into 5-star, 7-star ratings.
That's wonderful, sir. And speaking a bit, philosophically, since you, make people aware of their, abilities and try to make them better, how do you turn a, good school leader into a great one? Because taking that leap when you're already, settled on a level, you're feeling good about yourself. But of course, there is another greater level. How do you, make a person take that leap?
Lovely question. What a lovely question you had. I believe as a principal, as an administrator, to move beyond operational management to true leadership, a great leader need to understand the capacity of their staff members in the school, promotes open communication, and provides useful feedback.
Right.
So being a leader, I believe in certain traits. I will cite few of the traits which
Yes,
a good
please.
leader need to have to become a great one. I believe as a leader, every school educator, every school administrator must focus on respect rather than popularity.
Okay.
I used to give respect to people. I don't say automatically you get popularity when you give respect to others.
To others.
You need to have a very, very clear goals. Maybe short term, maybe long term. It should be defined. It should be established. Yeah.
Right.
If you want to establish a clear goal, then it should be defined one. In a school, as you are a leader, I am a school leader, a school principal. I listen to input from my staff.
Okay.
You need to be an example. You need to be a sample. Whatever you do it will be followed. As children, we used to follow what the teacher does. So
Yeah.
what the school principal does, you should be an example for them. You should provide, regular constructive feedback, and you should have a very good relationship between the, you should have relationship trust with the staff. So
Right.
I believe these things, if it is being done, you certainly will convert yourself with from a good leader to a great leader.
It's wonderful, sir. And sir, you told us that at CED, all the stakeholders are very much involved, from the government to, various nations, governments and all. Speaking of, EdTech, which has, seen a huge boost during this COVID times. So how do you see, the involvement of technology, especially in the, training sector in the near future?
Oh, wonderful. It's my favorite one. You see, as I said already, I've told you that school educators have converted themselves into a transformed educator with technology. The modern landscape is defined by technology only.
Only. Okay.
Yes. Various fields like you can say manufacturing, medicine, and even education, all are experiencing paradigm shift in the way their practices are happening. So
Right.
the technology revolution has now transformed the landscape of the workplace everywhere. You need
True.
not, because nowadays, before you can say 2 years, we were thinking how to go and meet people. Will have a conference. So many people will come. A lot of
So
expenses
much
will
time.
happen.
Yeah.
Time spent. So a lot of things are there. But now you could see, we could interact. That will be published in the YouTube where it will not go. And in the previously, the conferences was confined to 200 people.
Yeah.
People may not be knowing what is happening in that hall, but now the entire world is knowing. You can forecast this particular interview to anywhere and everywhere. Everyone will know. So my belief, more and more schools are shifting towards the fully digitalizing their work process in the near future. What I'm saying.
Wow.
After 5 years, you can find AI taking place everywhere. Believe me, I am telling you, before CBSE introduced artificial intelligence as a subject, we introduced artificial intelligence conference in the year 2017 at Bangalore.
Wow.
That interest we educators were having. So skill related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT have become a popular, or you can say it has to become a priority.
Right.
So apart from the changes in learning that are occurring in the workplace, it is important to take note that impact of technology has on the course of training or in the future of training.
Yes,
our
sir.
training, our training, we were doing 5 hours training now. Earlier when you go somewhere and have a training. Now every school, sir, we want training now. Okay, done. So currently a hybrid form of learning is slowly becoming the normal method of teaching in most training environments, especially in the workplace. So hybrid teaching learning process do happen, and it has to take up a absolute space for all the educators.
So by hybrid, do you mean recorded videos or online plus offline? And is there any more classification?
Of course, it is online and offline. It can be a blended learning type. Blended learning you can say it is a form of learning that combines traditional face-to-face teaching with electronic and online media, such as you are video, self-paced online modules, or digital aids, whatever.
Right. Wonderful, sir. So we are since at the fag end of this conversation. Please define Dr. Priyadarshi Nayak in 3 words. It's a tough question, I'm sure, but please.
Yes. Oh, what a 3 words. If you want to me, I'm generous.
Generous.
I'm passionate. I'm passionate to everything.
We can see that. Yes.
That you can see. And I'm resourceful.
Resourceful. That's a wonderful trait to have. Irrespective of wherever you are, you should be resourceful. It's correct, sir. So, sir, I'll have to ask you, since you do so many things, and we also know that 7th conference is upon us. But personally for you, what's next?
Well, as far as in my profession, I'm working as now a director principal of Doon Group of Schools, been given the responsibility very recently to look after the 30 schools in India.
Right.
As far as the academic area is concerned. Very soon, I'm going to have a pool of master trainers. I'm going to have a pool of master trainers, and that pool will be of 500 educators.
500
creating master trainers of 500 master trainers who can train teachers, leaders of the country and abroad. This is one. And my future aspect, you can say the next event is coming up. You can say international conference on sustainable development goals on quality education in collaboration with the Ministry of Education of Maldives. This is something very important for me. And this foundation will be working on enhancing the skill education in school. This is the 3rd point. Skill education we will try, because we all know vocational education and skill education, when you compare with other countries, children opting for vocational education are very less in India. If you compare with Japan and Korea and other places, the utilization of vocational education is 95% in other countries, which compared to India is almost less than 10%. So we are focusing to enhance the skill education of India. And we framed recently a sports foundation, which is integrated with global sports and skill development. We'll be integrating art learning. We'll be integrating a lot of skill-based education project we'll be working in the coming future.
Dr. Priyadarshi Nayak, thank you so much for your invaluable time that you've given us, and all the more power to you and CED, all the work you have been doing. We hope that you keep safe and continue to do your amazing work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful to talk to you. And I believe that this is something what school educators must do it. And I must thank you for inviting me for this wonderful interview.
It's our pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks once again.
My regards. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.